they talk about it.
Welcome back to She Could Talk the podcast. I am your host, Colleen, aka Gongali MC on Instagram if you're looking for that music, or Colleen Eat Wings on Instagram because you know your girl be cooking. It's the holidays and I've been cooking. Hey, or if you want to collab, if you want to submit music for consideration to the label, you can go over to www.doerecords.com. Hey, so yes, y'all, I have been MIA, but I have not been MIA. I miss you guys in the podcast world, so I apologize about my absence, but I'm back, back like I never left. So, all that being said, I have been working on music, so I have different segments of my life, and I'm trying to get better with, time, but I have been putting out music. So if you have been with me and following me on any of my platforms like Instagram, which is Gongali MC, or Colleen Eat Wings, or even on TikTok, the official Gongali, that you have seen that I've been dropping music for the last 6 months. So starting in July, we dropped the Get Bike, produced by Fleo out of Paris, France, and we also dropped All I Am, which is produced by Antagonist out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Then Halloween, I dropped Enervate. Enervate is produced by Tide Piccoli. Yo, so much music. Then we turned it back around on Thanksgiving and we dropped I Still Love You. Produced by Image Productions out of Virginia, Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Stop playing. You know what I'm saying? So definitely check out the music. The music is out there. And I'm going to go ahead because, normally when I drop a song, I'll do an episode for the song. But it's just been like time been going fast. I wanted to touch on the Drake and Kendrick battle, and I tried to. And I was like, I'm going to step back from that. Then I wanted to touch on politics, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to touch on that. Nah, I'm not going to touch on that. So I just been really chilling because, my mom taught me in life, if you don't have nothing maybe on a positive to say, maybe it's not good to say nothing at all, right? So that's what I've been doing. I've been chilling on the podcast scene for a little bit, but I've been working on the music scene. And the stuff that I've been wanting to get out there and to share, express, I've been feeling the frequencies of the people around me, and not only just my, angst or love or anything. It's everyone. I feel like we all can relate to everything that I've been putting out lately. I feel like to some degree, some song, a line, a sentence, a bar, something will catch you and be like, yo, I could relate to that. I've been getting so much great feedback, so much positive feedback. So once again, this applause is for y'all. This is for y'all. Thank you for supporting Gongali. Thank you for supporting Doe Records. Thank you for supporting Colossal Beats. Thank you for supporting Colossal TV and everything that we do. Colleen Eat Wings, you already know. So thank you, because for real, I do appreciate it. So now is time, as we are moving into these more cooler months, because I can't even lie, it's even cooler in Florida these days. I think it's the best time to bring the podcast back, and kind of talk to y'all a little bit, see how y'all been, share how I've been, and then also kind of go through some of the creative processes of these songs that I've been releasing over the last couple of months. So, this is not going to be in any kind of chronological order. It's really going to be about like what kind of goes with the subject at hand. And in the midst of all of that, so the song that I want to start with, as far as breaking down, is going to be Enervate. Enervate. In case you wanted to look for it online, if you want to stream it on YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever music is streamed, it's called Enervate. All right, so I want to get into that song for starters. And it's going to be a two-parter because I also wanted to touch on something that I felt needed to be studied, I guess, for lack of a better word, right? So on the sidebar, the second half of this will be about, in probably in no particular order, because I might start with this, but when I am not working, right, sometimes you just don't want to do nothing, right? Like I don't want to look at a TV show where I have to remember what happened last week, or like, oh my God, oh, this is where we're at in the show. Okay, I don't care. I'm kind of over those. I really don't want to like get too, I don't know, involved in TV shows and stuff. And I really don't. A movie every now and then, yeah. But what has been my guilty pleasure for the last couple of months, because it's just an easy unwind, is YouTube. We all love YouTube. I love YouTube because I go up there and get inspired by different foods, and maybe make a dish. Like, shout out to the Irish spice bag, because that's something, you can go on my TikTok, you can go on anywhere, any of my Clean Eat Wings or TikTok, and you'll see my spice bag. I use some chicken thighs. Oh my God. That was so good. But, things like that. I would get inspired to try different foods. If I'm renovating something, like I bought a, leaf vacuum blower. So we had a leaf blower, but hubby was like, yo, I saw a vacuum blower, blah, blah, blah. I think we should get that because the yard is huge. The leaves, the big trees, like we could crunch them up, put them in a fire pit. I think that'd be cool. And just easier way to get up the leaves that are falling off the trees this time of year. So I went and bought one and like, okay, bet I could do this. Hubby's at work. I'm going to surprise him and just like do the whole yard. Psych. But in the midst of putting it together, right, it had instructions and everything. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm missing something. What did I do? Go to YouTube. Found the old lady using the same exact product, and she whip, snap, put it together. And after I saw her do it, I was like, oh, okay. Whip, snap, put it together, vacuum to the yard. So, and that's what I call it, vacuuming the yard. But, like basically vacuums up the leaves anyway and crunches them up into like mulch. So, YouTube. You can go to YouTube for anything. When in doubt, go to YouTube, Back in the days, they were like, Google it. But nah, man, you can go to YouTube and find a whole video, step by step, and just get busy and be like your own DIY. I see where I saw, like I said, I fall on the YouTube rabbit hole. I saw a thing where a couple of podcasters or vloggers were reacting to videos where beauty salon or beauticians, hairstylists were going back to 9-to-5 jobs, and they were saying what's the what's happening. Like, it's a influx of beauty salons, technicians, anyone that's in a beauty field going back to a 9-to-5 job. And these people were reacting to what's happening? So people was like, well, it's because first of all, you're charging me $400 to put a wig on my head. I can go to YouTube and put that wig on my head for free. You're charging me, for rudeness. You're not teaching me about health care, or you're not hair care, I should say, not health care, but hair care. And you're not teaching me how to keep my hair healthy. It's more about styling me up, $1,000, and I'm out the door, and there's no relationship. Like, I remember back in the days, my mom had her hairstylist, V. My mom is Jamaican. V is Jamaican. V had a beautiful hair salon in the Bronx, right? And the only reason why I remember, just like, it was like a core memory for me, because I used to get my hair done by her, and I got my first perm there. And even though perms are not a thing right now because of everything attached to them, as we all know, but back then that was kind of like a rite of passage for a little black girl, get her first perm. Now you think you've grown, etc., etc. But the difference with V was she didn't just perm your hair, she grew your hair, and she would see, like, based on like how long you ain't come see her or whatever like that. Or like, say me, I had a perm, but I was still a kid, so I'm going to the pool in the summertime and I'm swimming at the beach, and I'm just coming home like, whatever, wash my hair and blow dry it, and I'm fine. And then I would go see her, and she'd be like, you was in the chlorine, I could tell your hair, this, that. Like, I didn't have to tell her I was at the pool last week. She knew just by looking at my hair and knew what to do to correct the issue. So they were saying that they don't have beauty salons like that anymore. It's just like a money grab, So people are shying away from that and using YouTube to become their own beauty salon specialists or hair care stylists, etc. And it's the best way, in my opinion. But, it makes sense. So as a result of that, That's an industry that is starting to go back to corporate America because they have, there is dwindling down on as far as the rates and what they could charge people or, get away with charging people, I guess. I don't know. So all of that. So then, yeah, and all of this is to say is I'm circling around YouTube and just follow me now because, it's like, you tell a story, you might go off on this branch, go off on this branch, but it's all on the same tree. So follow me now. So, with that being said, I also like renovations. Like I like watching people, renovate their homes, renovate their mobile homes, tiny houses. I like to see people turn sheds into houses, all that type of stuff. It's just fascinating to me. And then guess what? You learn along the way. Because what did we do? We renovated our kitchen in the last couple of years. We renovated our bathroom because we were like, you know what? We want a custom toilet. We're tall. We want a toilet that's going to fit us, etc. So we did stuff ourselves and we used a lot some of the bigger stuff we did contract out, but we did a lot of it ourselves because of YouTube, and we're grateful for YouTube. So in my downtime, I'll just throw it on, and anything that we like will pop up in the algorithms because we're musicians. We'll see rap battles, we'll see hip hop videos, all types of videos, interviews with artists. You see all that stuff. Then you see comedians because I love Drewski, I love Kai Cenat, I love the whole thing they got going on. Kai Cenat, Drewski, and Kevin Hart. I cannot wait for their movie. So if you're listening by any chance to me, I have a whole great storyline for you all, which you probably heard it before, but mine's is with a twist, and I think it would be great. But anyway, so just different things like that interest you. But there is a segment of YouTube that I also love, and that's the more personable segment where you see people kind of like just regular you and me, and they're letting you into their homes, like they're decorating or they're showing you how they farm, raise their kids, raise animals. Some of them will be driven by like religion. Some will be driven by just whatever, like there's a couple in Florida that I watched. They bought 5 acres. First of all, they popped up on my thing because that's speaking to my heart. And then they converted like a 1970s mobile home into a house. Her husband is a miracle worker with his hands. And you just be fascinated, like, what it looked like before to what it looked like in the end. You're like, it's no way. They lying to us, but they're not. They have a great channel. And let me tell you, watching them, I was like, oh, okay. So if we need to reroute the plumbing, we can do it this way. You know what I'm saying? And to give a perfect example, like, we got a new fridge or whatever, and ice maker, the way it was routed before, we didn't want to route it, the water from the kitchen sink to it, the fridge, 'cause we moved our fridge location. So instead, we was like, you know what? We can route it from the bathroom. The bathroom is literally on the other side of that fridge. We can do it that way. You know what I'm saying? Can't even tell, and it's done, and it looks professional, like, so someone came and did it, right? So shout out to them because of stuff like that, so I like to look at YouTube because you can learn and you can empower yourself to do anything you want, literally. So a couple of months ago, the headliner in one of our cars was sagging because we live in Florida, and you already know the heat, the humidity has been super triple times 10 in the last couple of years. It's just like it's getting hotter and hotter every summer. So this summer, one of our cars headliners, it just gave out. It was sagging. So if you're driving and you can't see no rear view mirror, and it's like basically resting on your head. So like, what? This got to be fixed. Went to the dealership. It was like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, oh, yeah, it's the humidity. We're getting a lot of those. But, yeah, we can fix it for you. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting my regular service and done. Also, can you give me a quote on that headliner when I come pick up the car? These dudes said $5,000 for the headliner. I kid you not. Now, I know German cars are a little bit different, parts, etc. But Jesus Christ, the headliner? What did I do? I found a German mechanic on YouTube who was doing the whole replacement of the headliner on my exact vehicle The only difference was he was speaking in German. But guess what? I figured it out. And guess what we did? Hubby and I changed the headliner ourselves, and then we was able to get a more upgraded material that looks a little bit more nicer versus the generic one that they would have probably put back in, like the factory stock model. So it looks more plush, more, for free. Well, of course you have to consider the materials. We purchased them ourselves, but the labor, not $5,000, Thank you, YouTube. So you can go and fall down any number of rabbit holes on YouTube, But there's another thing that I've been noticing, like on the other side of it. Like a couple episodes back, this year, I did an episode about a YouTuber named Cynthia G, which I can't lie. Some days I miss Cynthia G. Like right now, with so much stuff that has been happening over the last couple of months, I'm like, damn, I wonder what Cynthia G would say about it. But, that's not here nor there. But all I have to say is she was a very rising star on YouTube with very controversial content, and garnering a lot of attention. In some instances, some would say she garnered so much attention that, that's what caused her downfall, right? So if you don't believe me, go do your research on Cynthia G from YouTube, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. I think now she went to like a online pay for streaming platform, or you can kind of go to her platforms. But YouTube is a kind of a free platform that can get your brand to so many people, like, without the pay, that guess what? After a while, they'll be willing to subscribe. They'll be willing to donate, willing to invest, because of that platform and the trust that you built with them on that platform. In her instance, and it's also, I think the year is just rolling out, and a lot of the instances that I'm seeing lately, it's kind of backfiring on some of the YouTubers. And and this is in no way of me attacking, because let me tell you, honey, I probably got like 5 views on my last podcast episode, and I'm okay with that, because this is not my main thing. This is not, like, I started this during the pandemic 4 years ago, because hubby said he was tired of me talking to him all day. So I said, all right. And, he invested in some podcast equipment for me, and we've been on from there. But afterwards, because music has been my whole life. That is my life. And when opportunities arise for that, I kind of have to stop this for a little bit and then come back to it. But then also at the same time, I really want to get into adding some video to my podcasting, which that is on the agenda. Because when I tell you I'm sitting here looking at everything, we're ready to go. It's just I'm shy. So we're going to get that. We're going to get past that, and we're going to get some videos going for the 25. But back to what I was saying. To start the first part of this episode, I wanted to touch on why are fans, I should say, turning on content creators, And so it is a very sensitive topic, because we're all content creators, right? In some form or fashion. If I'm not podcasting for you, I'm putting music on Spotify and Apple for you. So I'm creating content in some capacity, and then my music, you can then use it on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram for your content, So we're all creating content in some sense. So, but what happens when, once you had like loyal subscribers, loyal followers, and then out the blue, they just turn against the channel, like what's happening? Like what's happening when your biggest fans suddenly become your biggest critics? That's what happened with Cynthia G. That's what's happening recently with a young farmer / preacher on YouTube. And I've been following this family for about 2 years myself, right? And I don't even know if it's been that long. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you my first episode that I seen, which apparently seems like is everyone's first episode. So I think YouTube flipped the lights on for them on that episode, because think it's just a thing that everybody was looking for, like, land, renovations, tiny homes. Like, they kind of fit the bill of all of that, So I started watching. It piqued my interest. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then, kind of like the other couple from Florida, they ended up buying a older mobile home and renovating it. So, versus the couple from Florida, I didn't really see them through the whole process. It was more so like, you see parts of their renovations, but I wasn't there for the whole entire journey. It's just that house is beautiful now. And it's like, oh my God, this is no way this was a mobile home. No way. Stand on the outside of it, on the side of it, in front of it. No way. It's beautiful. And so then I kind of went into reverse and started like watching them in reverse chronologically to play catch up. But this couple was like, oh, so I guess with me and my algorithms of watching the other couple, this popped up for me, this family. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this will be cool. I can kind of watch them from the beginning and see how theirs turn out, And let me tell you, it was a rough journey watching them. And I would say the renovations is what kept me around, just me as a viewer. I don't know. I actually, yes, I did subscribe to them. I'm not even going to lie. I even was tempted to send the kids Christmas gifts one year. And I was like, no, you wildin'. Cut it out. And I didn't. But I was just kind of interested in seeing this family. And then they are a Black family. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely rooting for them. I like this, And then they brought a message with God. Like, God put them on this journey. I was like, ooh. I told my mom about them, you know what I'm saying? And my mom is not interested. Like, I love my mom, but we don't really have the same taste of content. I'll put it like that. My mom is Caribbean, so any given Sunday she's watching either a Jamaican movie or an African movie. Like, that's their thing. And it's cool because the African movies are dope, the Jamaican movies are dope and funny, and or sometimes the drama be intense, but it's cultural based, so anything outside of what she likes, she's not really too keen to listen to it or trying it out. However, she was like, I'll look into that, because my dad loves that. They from Jamaica. They grew up in farms and land and stuff like that. So I said, I think you would like it. And they have a good message. And they're a young couple. So whenever you get some time, you should check them out. Like, I don't do that. Like, telling people about, because some of the stuff I think that I'm interested in, somebody else might be like, this is so corny. Like, oh my God, this is boring, So I don't really like to share and promote my interest or taste with everyone. But I really felt like they were so wholesome and so positive that my mother would appreciate them and my dad would appreciate them on a Sunday watching some of their stuff, their renovations, etc. So, but when I say it became a rough watch, because there was certain things there that I was like, I don't know if I'm supporting something good here. And the reason why I say that, like, I remember there was an episode, and I'm not going to be able to say, like, oh, this was it, because there's some people up there that are reacting to the videos now that have a better grip or a better handle on the background of everything that's going on. So I don't want to act like I do. And I don't want to say, like, oh, yeah, this is it. All I can do as a person giving my opinion is from my perception of what I viewed. Okay, so last year when they got the mobile home, I believe, I was like hyped for that. Then I was kind of disappointed, like, oh my God, this shit raggedy. But then I said, no, don't be like that. It was even like speaking to me, like, no, walk by faith. Have faith in them. I believe they're going to have a nice home. Let's watch. And watch and don't judge, right? Ironically, that's a trend on TikTok right now, guys. Let's watch and don't judge. And that's what I did. So I watched and I was like, okay, cool. The house stuff, that was, it took a long time. It kind of dragged in some areas. But then one day the wife came home from work because she was working off the farm at that time. And she hopped out the van in her work clothes, and you saw her little belly. And I was like, oh, I lit up. like, oh my God, they said, they wanted to have their farm, establish their family. They have, 3 children already. Oh, this is a blessing. God is truly blessing them. How beautiful, you know? So I even got hyped, like, telling my hubby, like, look, 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 I think she's pregnant. And he's like, oh my God, there you go. All of the people business. But I was like, no, no, I'm not going to comment or any of that other stuff because I've seen that before. Like, I worked at a job moons ago, and this lady she was overweight, for lack of a better word, but she had a very protrusive stomach, I guess. Like, her stomach was very, like, protruding or sticking out. And this other lady who was basically new to the department or to the job, like whatever, walked up to her in the middle of the break room and rubbed her belly and said, how many months are you? What? And the lady was like, I'm not pregnant. What? Crush moment. Crush moment. So I know better than to assume. But I also have this gift of knowing. Sometimes I don't even know what I know, if that makes any sense. But I know it's something. So I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. Apparently other viewers saw it as well and commented, because some people, they're going to comment. And the next video, I remember, and I've looked for it like just in these recent moments here. I went back to find it, but I'm not really that pressed, so whatever. But the very next video, because this was all in the midst of them renovating, the dad of the show dedicated about a good 20 minutes addressing the subscribers and saying how his wife is not pregnant because they all stay in a camper with no doors and they would never do nothing like that in front of their children because they have children and that's ungodly like. And I was like, man, come on now, that's your wife. Calm down. Like, I hate that type. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could, like, religious people have sex and get it on too. Like, calm down. And if you get technical, if you look at history, you can go on the same YouTube and go up there and just look. There's another guy up there, Dawson Speaks, I believe. Look him up. He basically exposes every preacher you never even heard of type preachers for doing some crazy, wild stuff. And 99% of the time is some crazy sexual deviance involved. But yeah, so it's not even that serious. Like, this is your wife, bro. Calm down. Like, whatever. And that's your business. Like, no one cares. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I was responded to the TV when he was explaining for like 20 minutes. I was like, what the fuck is this all about? And then instantly a voice in my head said, she's pregnant. He's lying. And I left it at that. So I started tapering off of their other videos. Like, listen, if you're not into pulling up some floors or putting down some paint or some plaster, I'm not clicking on it. You know what I'm saying? So all the other videos where they would be like more so preaching or giving a word or message, I'm not watching it because I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid, if that makes any sense. So I just kept it to the renovations. And that's how my algorithms were, and to some degree still are set up, like renovations, construction, land, how-to videos or cooking stuff, and then music, hip-hop for sure. So yeah, I don't really be like trying to prove the lie or whatever, but I know it's a lie, and all you gotta do is just lie to me once and my ears are up, my spidey senses, my antennas, my radar, it's up. So the next couple of videos for the next couple of months, and I think this is the reason why I kept tuning in, like I could not tune out, because I was like, I almost feel like he's abusing her. He's like making her work extra. First, when you watch the first, she wasn't even working on the farm. She was working outside of the home. Like she was coming home in like business outfits, like an office job or whatever. Then it switched. Like, nope, she's gonna be full time here at the farm, and the billy goats are ramming her in the belly, and she's picking up cinder blocks and wheelbarrows. So I was like, that's making me feel uncomfortable because the ancestors are telling me that she is with child, and this is kind of painful to watch. What are we doing? But I never commented, but I'm a person that would run to the comments and look. And I would look in the comments, and then you would see people like, hey, be careful with your back, easy lifting. When you get to rest, put your feet up. And they were telling her things because they knew what I knew, that she was with child. And it wasn't until like maybe 2 months before she delivered that they announced it. And then tried to say, oh, they didn't know. It was a surprise and it was unexpected because they didn't know. Ma'am, you had 3 before this one. 3 that came to succeed and to fruition, to full term. And they're here walking around. So I know women, okay? I am a woman, okay? So we know. Soon as your nipples feel tender, your stomach feel a little, you start craving that certain thing, So I was like, see, here we go. Just when I was about to send the little boys a little toy. No, I'm not doing that. So, so I still, for some reason, kept watching to the point that hubby was like, why the hell you watch? It's like, it's not like you're angry, but it's like you're very critical of the treatment of the wife. She ain't complaining. She up there, lifting them bales of hay. She all right. You a city girl. You don't even deal with stuff like that. Well, I live in a rural area, but no, we don't live like that. So, yeah. So I thought that was interesting. And I thought, like, maybe I'm just hypercritical, because they say that, women tend to be hypercritical and judgmental more than men, I guess. So I said, especially when my husband was like, man, but anyway. I said, okay, I'm going to chill for a little bit. But I'm still dialed in to see the finish product on the house. So, I would kind of every now and then check for a video. It'd be like, oh, or it pop up, honestly. And I'd be like, oh, okay. They working on the fireplace or they're working on the bathroom. Okay. And I'll watch that stuff. But I don't know. It just seemed like some weird dynamic with the wife and the husband. And then when the baby came, it's like full throttle. Her workload increased 80 times. It was almost like, this is punishment for getting pregnant. That's what I used to joke and say, like, uh-oh, he punishing her for that pregnancy again because he had to say that whole big speech and he tried to get the billy goats to get rid of it and it didn't happen. So this is your punishment. It's your fault. You made me look bad. That's just my opinion. I would just be joking. So that's the stuff I used to joke and say. But then after a while, it just tapered off of my radar. Like, I'm not really, because the vibe felt weird after that whole stunt with the oh no, she's not. I would never do that in front of the house of the Lord with no doors and all this other stuff about the camper, for it to only be what we all thought it was, And so people that do that, I kind of don't want to be around, if that make any sense. And I'm not around them, but I don't want that in my atmosphere. So I tapered off watching the shows, if that make any sense. But then, like 2 weeks ago, And this is where I had to go down the whole round the road in the skit and the scat to get back here. So, like I told you, I've been watching them since that first point when they rolled the trailer in, and I think YouTube flipped the light switches on for them because they just started going viral, just started popping up. But then after the house, I guess became complete, and then I really was like, dude, y'all lied about that pregnancy, and you had that lady out there working with picking up cinder blocks. I was like, that's crazy. So I kind of fell back on that, watched other stuff. Like I have things to do. Like I don't care. But I do remember I saw that he was renovating or doing the same thing again for his mom. So I was like, oh, well, he did do a decent job. Like, it looked good to me, like I'm not a renovator. I'm a DIYer myself. So I was like, it looked good. I'm curious to see what he does over there. So a couple of they was like looking for land or whatever. So that's what made me go back 2 weeks ago and say, let me see what happened. Like, did they ever finish the mom's house or whatever? Searched in their name in YouTube, and nothing but reaction videos and like exposés on this family. And I said, oh my God, everything that I felt last year was real. Look at this. Look at this. I sat there in shock. I had to get a glass of wine and sit down and was like, what? So I wasn't bugging. So I wasn't crazy. You ever get that? I don't know. It was just weird how I was like, I felt this. This is crazy. And it was almost like the way it was like, because I don't even go search for them, but like 2 weeks ago, it was a Friday night. And I tell you, like when I had like a busy week or whatever, I just want to chill and grab something to eat. And I don't really want to watch nothing major. Like if it's a new movie or something, like, okay, we'll look at that or whatever. But I'm okay with YouTube and seeing what's going on, I like Joe Rogan. I like so many different things, anything could pop up. And if it seems interesting, I'm gonna watch it, So, yeah, my variety and taste range. So I'm not I give everything a chance. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. I give you a chance until you no longer want my chance. When I talk, like a lot of musicians that I work with and a lot of people that has worked with me musically will always tell you a saying that I tell them when I'm starting to partner up with them on any type of business. I say, okay, we're at the point here where I'm going to give you this rope. And what you do with this rope is up to you. You can either wrap it around your neck and jump off and hurt yourself, or you could throw it up to the next level and climb up, and I'll see you there. And they be like, yo, where you get that from? Yo, that's so deep. But it's true. That's just like I don't know. I don't even know. I think like my great grandmother said that to me when I was a child, and it just stuck. So I always said that to fellow musicians, when we were working together on music. Like, all right, I'm going to give you this rope. And you can do one or two things, right? But it's a great analogy with anything, right? That means ultimately saying, hey, I'm going to give you a chance to prove yourself. And whatever you do with that chance is on you. You're going to prove what you want to prove with that chance, right? So I feel like, this particular family, I gave them a chance with the renovations and, but they proved otherwise, and I was like, wow, that is crazy. And then, so shout out to all of the reaction channels out there. Like I'm trying to be as neutral as possible, so I don't want to name any names. I don't want to say any names incorrectly, but because y'all know, y'all see I hit the like buttons, etc. But I just thought it was very interesting, and I was like, well, why is this happening? A lot of people could be like, oh, it's happening because, he's a liar, he's a this and that. That's kind of the obvious, because I told you the situation of viewing, or the segment that I viewed that led me to that conclusion. The denial of the child. And then in the end, it was a child. And then in recent times, it was some more controversy around that same child. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to read that, because I'm many states away and I don't know those people other than clicking on YouTube. So I'll leave them right there. But I want to give some of the things generally. I don't want to go. It's a lot of YouTubers doing a great job with diving deep into them. That's why they even kind of in a way compelled me to knock off the dust off my mic and come out and talk to y'all for a little bit, especially before the holidays is over. Well, before the holidays get here and the year is over, just to kind of touch base with y'all again. But you guys are doing a great job, and I tune in. For the last 2 weeks, I've been dialed in, like, oh my God, this is crazy, and it just let me know, from the biggest to the smallest, you can't continue to deceive the people and get away with it, like on any level. And y'all can take that. Just look at the things that happened this year. We had the issue with Puffy that's still ongoing. Like, no one knows how that's gonna end, right? They try to drag Jay-Z into that. So even though he didn't get dragged into it, he's still stained. It's like a little mark, Then everything that Cat Williams predicted on Club Shay Shay is happening right now. Then let's look at like the Drake beef. I love Drake. If anyone knows me, knows I love Drake. The beef has not swayed that for me, because I'm a musician, and you win some, you lose some. It's just like sports, So am I going to be like, oh, Drake's career is over? No, but I would be understanding if he took his music elsewhere, meaning that he focused on other countries, Canada, Europe, and kind of marketed less in America. I wouldn't even be mad at him. I understand, because of what happened. So it's just a lot of exposure that has been happening this year. I don't know if it's the year, if we hit a portal or a vortex of truth. Was Cat Williams the prophet that led us through the portal? I don't know. But all that to say is, even down to the smallest of YouTubers, even TikTokers. I see where Tiny and T.I. is suing this girl on TikTok for lying on their son and saying that he was not the father of his child, when he is, and he's in a loving relationship with the mother of his child. Just weirdness. But she was exposed for lying and trying to, do whatever for clout. And now she's facing legal ramifications. I mean, as she should, right? So everyone, I would say, and I'm not saying everyone, anyone that's, trying to portray a lifestyle or a culture that they're not, right? It's coming out. It's coming out in the wash. And I say that like, I'm not here, because I'm going to say allegedly right here, So just to give an example, is the image that Puffy portrays for the longest is that he's a great guy. He's a loving guy. A lot of people love Puffy, so maybe he is. But that video that came out earlier this year of Cassie and him in the hotel kind of showed us another light, right? So that's what I'm saying. People that have tried so hard, I guess, to keep a certain image on the forefront, is like those images are cracking and is breaking at the seams. And I don't know. I think it's a big part of it is because we, as the fans, the consumers, the subscribers, the followers, we're waking up. We're operating on higher frequencies these days. The frequencies have changed, and we're literally able to see. And I think all of us are seeing unanimously or cohesively or at the same damn time the same damn thing, for lack of a better word, right? So I think that's what's happening. So in this situation with them, it seems like they, I don't know, maybe a little bit more corrupt than holy. I don't know. Go on YouTube. It's a lot up there. I don't want to give their names because I truly do not want to be like a clout chaser or be like, and I did a whole thing on, and honestly, because Cynthia G was a bigger YouTuber than this family, I don't want to, but I put it like this. I've mentioned this YouTube channel a couple episodes back because I was truly impressed with them. And I told y'all about certain channels that I watch, I'm into. Even on here, this episode, I told y'all about channels that I'm currently watching and viewing, and I'll give them a shout out. So I did shout them out on a couple of episodes back. So if y'all feel like going back to check out who I said I was checking out back then, that could help you narrow down your search, I guess. But I don't know. To me, it's crazy to see that every spidey sense that was tingling for me, I was basically onto something. Now, I don't have any hard facts per se, but a lot of those people on YouTube with the reactions, they do. They do. And they're coming in hot. And to me, I feel like, it has to come to light, right? Like it's that time. It's the year of truth. Like Cat Williams said, it's the year of truth. So to me, I said, there's a couple of things that happens that, not only with Cynthia G, because she did it too. She turned on her subscribers, started cussing them out, yelling at them, and berating and belittling them. Even when they called in and paid and was supporting her live streams, she was losing it. So I touched on her back then. So I'm going to touch on a few things with this family, farm family, that I think is why things are happening for them now. So the first thing to me is loyalty, right? Loyal subscribers, they're going to stick around because they feel connected to your content, your personality, or maybe your values and beliefs, right? So they're going to be loyal to you because you share that, or they can resonate with your content, your personality or your beliefs or values, right? But just like I did, and that's why I wanted to give my example first, when I said, oh my God, I was so excited for them and happy for them when I saw that, it appeared that she was with child. But then the aggressive denial plus the actions, and I was like almost feeling like, are you trying to make her lose this? What's happening here? It started to make me, excuse me, not really, it was a turn off, right? So that was my example. So ultimately, I'm saying all that to say is when your subscribers then sense a big change, it could be your tone, it could be your format, or it could just be the goals that you set out to do has changed, then they'll start to feel betrayed. It's a little bit of betrayal. I'm loyal to you. It's almost like a relationship at this point. And then imagine the ones that are really subscribed, like they're sending gifts, they're donating and sending money. You know, I'm not that dialed in on any channel. Now, there was a young kid that got a tiny house built. Well, I'm not going to say a kid, young man. He was under 25, impressed the hell out of us. He built his tiny home with the help of his dad and his uncle on their land, on his parents' land. And dope house. Dope house is like a true young man's house, right? And it's like this kid is under 25 and he's thinking about building a house to be debt free. That's crazy. That's dope. So when he finally got moved in and everything set up and he was doing his house tour, I sent him a housewarming gift. I was like, you know what? I'm so proud of him. Like, I'm his auntie. I'm going to send him a gift. That's the only person I ever did that to. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? I'm fucking crazy. But even now, like, even after that, you see that guy, he's like thriving. And he's such, you feel the honesty. I could be wrong, but I tend to be good with stuff like this, engaging people. He's a good kid. So I didn't have a problem doing that. But that's the only time I ever did something like that. Now, if it's like a GoFundMe, because I'm a musician. So I've seen other musicians like doing GoFundMe to like, you know, go out on tour and promote their album or stuff like that. I've donated to that. People that might be sick and need hospital assistance, I've donated to that. Like, you know, just different things. It just, if it speaks to you and you can help, that's for you to, that's on you, you know? But I'm not with the, like, I don't know, like the Oral Roberts. And the reason why I say that, because that was my great grandmother's favorite pastor, Oral Roberts. She had her envelopes, her pamphlets, her tithing. Yo, I don't even know where he was at, but we was in New York and she was sending money to him. Not like big money or whatever, but you know, just $1 or two is too much in some instances, especially when you know how they were living, their lifestyles, right? So anyway, that's here nor there. That was just a personal side note. But all that to say is stuff like that is why I don't, you know, contribute or participate in, you know, oh, I'm going to donate to this person and I'm going to donate to this family just because I'm sitting here watching them on TV or YouTube or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got the land. You did something to get the land. Hopefully, I'm thinking had some money, saved it up, bought land. You bought your mobile home. You're living debt free. I'm just trying to get a couple of tips and tricks so I can get my journey along the way. You know what I'm saying? And I respect the journey, you know what I'm saying? But then in the midst of the journey, the inconsistencies and the questionable things, you know, the loyalty changed. Like, so I think that was the first thing that happened with them and the subscribers was the loyalty. Another thing could be, you know, branding, sponsorship, changing from like, I don't know, profit to nonprofit, nonprofit to profit, or getting sponsorships or becoming more of a sponsored brand. Now, this family in particular, I've seen a little bit of it, but not that much. But there was another, you know, YouTuber that was kind of in the same vein of, you know, hey, I'm doing decorations, boom, boom, boom. Then it became like, hey, if you want it, like a commercial smack dead in the middle of their, you know, video that they put together because they have sponsorship. And you're like, now I got to fast forward through 5 minutes of this, you know? That kind of turns you off when you were kind of like in the middle of a DIY and was like liking it. Now, I understand sponsorship keeps the world going around. So that is something, or maybe changing formats to gain sponsorship. That could be something that could have been considered there. So these are just all things that I'm thinking it could possibly be, but then I'm going to tell you what I personally think at the end. But yeah, so what was the other thing? What was another one? Okay. So, for example, you know, you can, another thing that can change is still under the topic of content, but the actual content itself shifting can be another thing that can get your subscribers turned off from your channel. And shifting the content, like, meaning, like, for example, if you were a gamer and then now you went to doing like dark humor, and it's like, what, that only, you went from one extreme to the other. Or if you went from, hey, I'm, spreading the word of the Lord, and I'm gonna, focus on getting this out to the community and giving back to my community, and changing that content from that, which people were like, hey, I'm willing to help you with that. That's a great mission, to, hey, no, I'm just kind of focusing on us. We're not doing that anymore. Then it's like, well, was it a money grab? Like, that can kind of, that shift of direction or change of direction can possibly, cause some people to get turned off, of your content. And this one's a great one, and that's why sometimes I also appreciate for myself, like, yeah, this year I had a big pause with the episodes because I put up a couple of episodes and I went back and deleted them because I just didn't like the content myself after I listened to it. Like, one episode I was like, I don't know, feeling very political, I guess, and I went into a political rant early in the morning, and I listened to it by like 10 o'clock, and I was like, oh no, delete this. That's not the message I'm trying to send, So sometimes it's good to like have a pause, It's good to not post daily and give them a little breathing room. So my last thing that I can say that can help to a downfall, or help you, well, not say help you, but can cause a loss in subscriptions or engagement, is oversaturation, So like, say, if you're uploading every day, or if you're uploading back and forth between multiple channels that you own in a day, that can be overwhelming too, Because what happens is, like, your subscribers once looked at your channel like it was a special place for them to go to. Like, you heard me, I said a Friday night, I have a glass of wine, I just want to chill and kind of go through some YouTube videos and some comedy, some music. Oh, what did he do? Did he ever finish that house? Just different things without really engaging, but engaging, right? If you see it every day, you're like, oh God. Anyway, well, let me search for something else. Let me put it on Netflix. I'm tired of seeing them pop up. And that can happen too. Every minute you popping up with that sly grin. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an oversaturation. And then some people could be like, this is too much. So something that was considered like, yes, oh my God, yes. And I can't front. It's like, I can't even lie. Like, these reaction videos, creators that I've stumbled across over the last 2 weeks, they are pretty consistent with their posting. And I'm pretty excited when they post, because I'm like, oh yes, a new one. Let me see. So it's the engagement. And I also feel like I found the special community of people that is actually vibing on the same frequency as myself. That can also cause a loss of engagement on one side of the house and cause new engagement on the other side of the house, if that makes any sense. Because oversaturation and then repetitive content, because that can happen too. I've seen it where there was another, because this is all about, YouTube for more or less. There was another content creator that she was using the same videos from, like say she, like, it was like a fridge video in particular, where she's like, get ready with me as I go grocery shopping and fill up my fridge. Or it's more so like, walk with me or spend a day with me as I, rejuvenate my fridge or restock my fridge for my family of 10. And they come to find out that she was just like using the same video and then kind of using different parts of the video and just recycling it for like every couple of weeks. And everyone was like, yo, she's shopping, like spending like $5,000 every couple of weeks or whatever. But then it became exposed that, oh no, she was just kind of recycling through her content, and people started to pick up on it. Because that's another thing. Once someone becomes suspicious of a thing, then that's going to cause what? Research and investigations to take place. So this is not a world where you can just say, hey, don't look behind me at that junk pile and don't look at my abused looking family. Just listen to what I'm saying. No, it doesn't work like that because nowadays people have the internet. They have the ability to research. You have AI. You have so many different things that can help you get to the point, of whatever it is you're trying to figure it out or find out. So to me, I feel like this is a great time to be alive in the world because the truth is out there, whereas before, years and years ago, the ability to learn how to do certain things or the ability to find out how to do certain things or where to go to navigate certain arenas or whatever, it wasn't accessible, but now it is. And then on top of that, it's honestly a great time to be alive because the truth, you have no choice but to be honest. I honestly feel like, why wouldn't you want to be honest? We may have all lied at one point in time. We may have all, for whatever reason, felt you needed to lie or pretend about a thing. We may have even embellished a bit on our resume to get a job. Who knows? Because there's just so many different scenarios, right? Nobody is perfect. No one is perfect, But I think what people, and I can't really speak for people, I can speak for me. I know what I appreciate nowadays is honesty and humility. You know what I'm saying? And just being yourself, I think that's a great way to be. Even like with myself, like I've done music for years, and chasing that dream, chasing that, arena, I always felt like I had to be or act like or sound like, or maybe if I do a song like this might catch. And guess what's happening? I wasn't truly being Gangali. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like, you hear my song and you be like, oh, you sound like Lauryn Hill. I don't want you to hear my song and be like, oh, you sound like Glorilla. No. I want you to hear my song and be like, yo, that's Gangali. Undoubtedly Gangali. Every time. And I had to go within. And I had to see where I was lying to myself about myself and correct that. And I think I'm actually proud of the work I've done on myself because I feel like I am hitting a stride of doing really great music. I'm loving the music I'm doing, and I'm also loving the response to the music that I'm doing. And I think that also goes hand in hand with the honesty that you have to have with yourself, So that's a nice segue, actually, into my song Enervate. Okay, and this is how that segue is gonna work. Okay, so check it out. I am gonna talk about my song Enervate. Okay, and I also feel like it kind of ties in really well with the first part of this episode because I talked to you about an individual, even though it wasn't just about that individual or their channel, but talking about that whole concept of being honest and being true because it's gonna come out. The truth will come out. But on top of that, in the midst of it, in the midst of the content, the innovation that's happening to the spouse, to the wife in this case, is very, very, I don't know, disturbing. But a lot of people are like, innovation, what is that? Innovate means to channel any type of way, find a way to break free and use ingenuity to shape a better future. So, like, say something might frustrate you. Like back in the days, people had to have horse drawn carriages, but guess what? They had to let the horses rest, they had to feed them. If they were tired, if they were worn out, if they became lame, you couldn't use them to travel as transportation. So, that's when the innovation came about and they built the car, the automobile, an engine car that did what a horse did, but guess what? We don't have to use the animals. And that's why when you look at cars, they'd be like X amount of car has this amount of horsepower, because they equate the car directly to the horse. That was an innovation of saying, hey, we're frustrated with not being able to take a full trip without stopping, having to rest, make sure my horse is okay. And that's understandable, but we got to find a better way. And that's when the word innovate, INNOVATE, comes into play. But the name of my song is Enervate, ENERVATE. And to enervate means to be exhausted, to feel drained, underappreciated, and stuck in a cycle of overwork. It's about the toll that relentless demands take on your energy and your spirit. Do you hear me? Now, hopefully, some of, the people from my small YouTube community will get what I'm talking about with that and understand immediately how it relates to the first part of this episode. But beyond the episode, because I'm going to tell you how this song came about. A year ago, myself, I was working in corporate America for 11 years. And really, my job was so cool and so flexible that if I needed to go to France and perform, I can. It was going to be a situation where I may have had to been gone for like 3 months because of music, and they were all on board with it. Like, no problem. But that was the immediate team when, my immediate people that I worked with. The overall big corporation had other plans for all of us. And they're still in business. I won't name their name, not like that. I would never bash, because I actually still love them. I still love them and still rock with them to some degree. So there you go. But they had to do layoffs, and my team was affected by that. So you imagine giving 11 years of your life to something that you didn't really even plan on doing, right? But it was fun. It became like work didn't really seem like work, it was cool. And you worked with people that you actually were liking, and became like a like a tradition every year, doing certain things for the holidays, etc., etc. It felt good. But the rug was pulled out from underneath me. And it became a reality check for me. Like, you know what? I can't put stock into stuff like that no more. And I have to kind of get back to really what God has put on my heart, what he has blessed me to do, and do it, Because, for example, like when you work a job, you got to train, you got to learn it, that's not a natural skill. But when God bless you with a natural skill that you could potentially feed your family with, that's a blessing, that's a blessing. So also at the same time, God and also my ancestors, because I had to shout my ancestors. They were heavy. They did a lot of praying, and now, my grandmother, my grandfather, my great grandma, they're my ancestors. Two of my besties, they're my ancestors. So I have a lot of people rooting for me, on the ancestral plane, I should say. And they'll make you uncomfortable when you don't listen. They'll make you uncomfortable when you don't heed the message. When the Lord, your ancestors, when they want to reroute you into another direction and you don't go, sometimes it don't be good, right? And I think in my instance, I became super comfortable with my lifestyle, with everything I had going on, and my job, that music and other parts of me definitely took a back burner. And I think that's why I was made uncomfortable, But sitting there in that moment, realizing what happened, next couple of days, you try to, get up, be busy, you still want to have a routine. You want to not stray too far off the routine in case I'm going to put my resume out and get another job, that type of stuff. So I'm getting up every day, being busy, being productive, but I wasn't doing music. And then one day I just sat down in my recording studio and I turned on everything. And I was like, you know what? I can't cry about this because crying is not going to help me, pay these bills. But I can vent and I can be productive with my venting. So the song Enervate is just about that, working in corporate America, giving yourself so much of yourself to the point that you might neglect yourself, neglect your family, neglect other things that are important to you and that is more important than that job that will let you go at the drop of a dime and just be like, okay, bye, clean your desk out, have a nice day. What? I was here for 11 years. Of course I didn't get upset and carry on. It was just like, oh, okay, I guess. But still a shock nonetheless, right? And that's what I said at that day when I sat down. It was early morning too. I told you I'm waking up every day, like I'm gonna keep my routine. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna record. I'm gonna vibe to some beats. I wasn't even like had a direction or whatever, but I was just feeling kind of shitty at this point because it's kind of sinking in like, damn, I really got laid off. Fuck. Okay. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to just vibe to some music. And if everything else failed, at least this is, I could use my God-given talents to vent and get some things off my chest, productively, not in a negative way, not to talk bad about no one. But then as I started to formulate this song, so what I was doing was going through beats. Producers send me so many beats, and I'm backlogged on sorting through beats, but we're getting through them. 2025, this train will continue, so you're gonna see what I do. But so I'm sitting there, and that one hit me for the song Enervate. Shout out to Todd Piccoli, and that joint hit me, and I was like, you know what? This is how I'm feeling right now in this moment, September 2023, because that's when I wrote that song. I said, this is how I'm feeling. And I wrote it out. Then as the song began to build, I said, this is not only how I'm feeling, this is how we're all feeling. Something just came over me. And then that made me change it and say, you know what? In this innovation, I'm going to innovate some new tactics to create the change that I want to see for my lifestyle, So, recorded this song, let hubby hear it. He was like, oh, that's powerful. He was like, yo, this is art. Like, you are a great artist, but this right here, when people talk about art, this is it. And that meant so much to me because I love him, but he's critical. He's critical, like, no, because he's a perfectionist and I appreciate it. But so, how it was like, that's going to be that person's opinion that I honor for sure. So I'm running right to him, like, what you think? And then sometimes he'd be like, yeah, you could do this, you could tweak that. Maybe I'll, go play with that, level that out. Maybe just do it again. But then when for someone to be like, yo, that's art. That's truly art. That's great. I was like, yes, I'm onto something. And then I just kept on recording more songs, and I put that one down. And I didn't really even kind of go back to it. You know what I'm saying? I play it every couple of, every now and then as I'm going, seeing what I've compiled, like going through all the songs. I'm like, ooh, yeah. So I said, okay, but this song has to be put out at a particular time. Like, I can't just drop this because this is like a heavy song, And I don't know. 2024 came around, and literally a year to the day type, I said, it's time. I'm going to put it out. And I decided to put it out on Halloween because I said, as adults, other than other than like the obvious, right? Death, being harmed, or maybe an alien attack. Adults don't really scare too tough, right? Like, there's nothing you could really say like Halloween, ooh, scary story, I'm scared now. Like, as an adult, right, we already know the whole branding of Halloween, etc. Nothing scary. But adulting can be scary, right? Adulting is something no one prepares us for, and it is truly scary at times. Imagine you establish a life for your family, and then you get laid off. That's scary. Imagine just anything as an adult in life is scary. So I kind of took some of those things and put it into the song Enervate. And I said, well, I think it'd be very appropriate for me to drop it on Halloween. And I did. And ironically, Halloween was right before the election. And some people thought I was being political, which I don't really understand how they thought that. But then hindsight, I can see, with certain verbiage that I was saying, but it's just, I'm talking about my life and the things that I went through. And then the things I observed from my family, friends, and peers that they went through. And I just culminated and created that into a song, the song called Enervate. But, yeah, so yeah, this is definitely a scary song as an adult. Halloween is when we're going to drop it. Yo, so many people hit me up. I was like, yo, sis, this is truly scary. People were like, oh my God, when this song came on, because, people get notifications. And I encourage you all too. If you are, if you listen to music, if you like rap, check me out. And I'm not your average. Like, I think you would like it because my music comes with a message. But, if you're on Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music, I'm on all of those platforms. Gangalee, Gangalee, aka Red Glasses, and you'll see me. So if you see the red glasses, you see a brown girl with red glasses, Gangalee, that's me. And yeah, check out the music. And if you subscribe to it, every time I drop something, you'll get the notifications. I'm on iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, anywhere music is streamed or sold, I'm there. And I would love to welcome you all to my family if you're not, as of yet, a part of it. But yeah, so like I do every time, I always end my episodes with a song. And I think it's only appropriate appropriate that I ended with Enervate because, that was the story behind Enervate. And I think Enervate works well on both of the topics that I touched on today because the meaning, the definition of Enervate means to suck something dry, a person, to suck a person dry until they're weak and feeble, and in some cases, mentally unstable or unable, So it's like you get beaten down. And you could tell what was the biggest thing that everyone was concerned with during the election? The economy, buying food. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know everyone else had like certain, but that was the general unanimous concern, So Enervate is appropriate, I believe, in a lot of ways right now. And that's why I dropped that song on Halloween, because I said, hey, this is a scary adult song. Why not? And my music tends to not lean towards somber topics maybe or whatever. I don't honestly, it's a bop. I can't even lie. People always say like, yo, it goes hard. Yo, this joint is crazy. And the message is crazy, So, but listen, I'm not going to sit here and beat y'all down and try to convince you like other people do. I want you to check it out for yourself. And if you don't know, this is my motto. And for all of you that do know, you already know what I'm about to say. If you like it, tell a friend. If you don't like it, tell a friend. It's not going to hurt me either way. It's going to help. It's all love. And like I always say, from my lips to your ears, I love you. Even if you don't see me often, the absence of it all makes the heart grow fonder. And I still love you all. So until next time, y'all, it's your girl, Colleen, a.k.a. Gangali, a.k.a. She Can Talk, the podcast. And I am going to do a little countdown review, some, more episodes to close the year out, because I'm not going to just leave y'all in 24. I ain't going to do y'all like that. But I was compelled to come back. And I'm back now. So like I said, y'all, She Can Talk the podcast. Until next time, y'all stay blessed and love yourself first, because you can't love me if you don't love you. All right? All right. Peace. We all agree, but we look away. We tend to feed all of our needs with transactions day to day. Swipe the card, spend the yams, caught off guard, victim to scams. It gets hard, but no one cares. We gotta do it for the gram, which is a corporation, and currently they're stationed in your pocket. Flash the loot, flash the guns. Now the followers skyrocket, but I don't own no stock yet. Just the hottest on the market. Got my namesake up in Target. Got that big body and they parked there. Clearance racks, they grabbed it. Depreciation is rapid. Keep them out of the red at the expense of our bad habits. We shopping, we posture, hammocks in my roster. Bill due next month, hit the casino like a mobster. Smoke papers, court capers, big business in that. Now Poppy sells it at the corner store and the corporations get that. Loopholes and red tape just to get to the top. But it's new foes with old hate, and of course this shit don't stop. I don't really care no more. I don't really care, my dear. I don't really care no more. I don't really We traveling east. You can be free, I can be free. We are all we need. Nothing in life is free. They're taking our peace with this corporate greed. I should be free, free from all the corporate greed. You can be free, come with me. We traveling east. You can be free, I can be free. We are all we need. Nothing in life is free. They taking our peace with this corporate greed. 40 hours a week, and sometimes on Sunday. No time for sleep, and wonder why we grumpy. Save though, buy the house, never get to enjoy it. PTO in your house, vacation can't afford it. Student loans, permanent, residence, the firmament. Swimming in this fishbowl, controlled by the government. Plantations, labor farms, prisons of our minds. Blinded by these labels, we needed this to shine. Car notes, stay broke, only commute to work. Here's a hard no, no loan, now please get back to work. How dare you have your own views on what your life should be. W-2s, we own you from youth to retiree. No time for you, I need you to clock it back on in. Get 40 years out of you, then release you out your skin. Nothing left for you to do, now you're feeling like some rust. Only thing left for you to do is return back to the dust. I don't really care no more. I don't really care, my dear. I don't really care no more. I don't really care, my dear. I should be free, free from all this corporate greed. You can be free, come with me. We traveling east. You can be free, I could be free. We are all we need. Nothing in life is free. They taking our peace with this corporate greed.